My vegan spinach dip. I must not have showed you everything, but this is the cheese. It is a double batch of the melty, stretchy, gooey vegan mozzarella recipe. And since I seem to have lost the footage for me preparing that, it's basically, get to it, a, one recipe of it is quarter cup of raw cashews soaked, 1 cup of hot water, 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of tapioca starch or tapioca flour. In this case, I ground up tapioca, instant tapioca, since I couldn't find the starch, and that worked fine. 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar or lemon juice, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic pepper. You soak the cashews, add the cashews to the hot water and all the other ingredients to a blender. Blend till smooth, pour into a small saucepan, and heat over medium-high heat, which I'm doing now while stirring. If you don't have a high-powered blender, you can strain through a fine mesh strainer first. As you stir it, it will form clumps. Soon it'll be a big mass. So there you go. Okay. I'm also cutting up some bread. There you go. That I'm going to toast, slice, and drizzle with olive oil and toast in the oven so that I have a dipping sauce. They say it takes about 5 minutes total for it to become that cheesy, gooey uh, massy yumminess the recipe calls for. So, yep, just keep stirring. And I don't know why my burners look purple in here. They're red, but the camera turns it purple for some reason. Man, this is a good dip. Any game day. Super Bowl is over, I know that. But for next year, for any other game day, anytime you want this yummy dip, this is amazing. Okay, slice of bread, maybe slightly at an angle. So you can toast it. Keep stirring. Keep stirring. Once it was pretty much ready, I turned it down. Um, Went back to slicing. If you don't have much space in your kitchen, you have this type of burner. I put a chopping board down on it and I cut from there. Any other side of the stove doesn't really get hot, just where you're cooking it. So no worries of burning the house down. Okay, back to stirring, and you may or may not be able to see, but it's pretty well done. I turned it off. I turned a warming spot on just to keep it warm. I didn't want it to like firm up too much. So here we go. Bread's in the oven. Just drizzle it with some olive oil. And there you go. Okay. Bread's done. There you go. Oh, sorry. About the quality. Okay. So, for the dip, there is half a cup of unsweetened non-dairy milk. I use coconut. Uh, 2 6-ounce jars of marinated artichokes that have been drained and then cut up. Calls for half a medium yellow onion. I just use a spring onion. 3 cloves of garlic chopped up. 2 cups of frozen spinach. Quarter teaspoon of salt, pepper, and of course a double batch of a melty, stretchy, gooey vegan mozzarella. So just dump everything in together in a bowl. Use a bigger bowl than I did. It was a little hard to stir. But that's why I have my artichoke in. So there you go. Milk. Salt. And the mozzarella. Vegan mozzarella. It works quite well for dippable recipes, I think. This isn't gonna be like, put on your caprese salad mozzarella, but look, it's pretty good. I use silk coconut for all my uses. Use almond, use soy if you want. This is a no soy recipe, so I like it. Use cashew, rice milk, anything you want, unsweetened though. Mix it all together. It might not all come together like as you might want, but you can like stir it like halfway through when it's baking, just because it's all ooey gooey and melty for sure in there, so it's easier to combine it. But I think it did pretty well mixing in the bowl. I think that's because I had my cheese warm, so that helped, I think. I did about half myself first and half later. I didn't want it all in one place. And the garlic, I forgot. And earlier, sorry about looking at the phone and pointing to the ingredients. I thought that you could see the recipe listed on the phone, and I pointed the ingredient, but it didn't work. Lesson learned. Okay, pour it into a baking dish of your sort. This is like a deep dish pie pan. Nice thin, thinner layer of everything. I think it worked good. I mixed it up a little bit more just so it would. There's some chunks separate from the whole mass. And again, I want to kind of. Sorry, I'm doing a voiceover on this because it just wasn't the best place to be like just talking to myself while I cook. I have other people that live here and they think it's strange that I talk. Okay, I also had like potatoes in the oven, so that's why that's kind of getting moved over. They are for another recipe I'll be putting up for vegan potato skins. And those are good too. The dip. Oh, the dip is so good. And again, purple. Weird. Okay.